Welcome. Myself, Dr. Mallikarjun HB, Assistant Professor of Statistics, UH Shumoga. In this video, I am going to explain brief introduction about statistics. Before coming to statistics, what is data? We should know the data. Data means a set of observations. If we collect the observations, plant height 10 centimeter, light 15 centimeter, 20 centimeter, 22 centimeter. This is set of observation. This is known as data. If you collect weight of a fruits, 100 gram, 110 grams, 120 grams, 150 grams, 200 grams, this is a set of data. This is known as data. We can collect data through direct personal interview from the persons. If you want any information from the personals, individuals, we can have the personal interview. This is one type of data. Through schedules and questionnaires also, we will collect the data. These data which are collected for the first time from the units are individual directly. These called as primary data. Can have another type of data through official publications and newspapers. These data are already collected by some person or agency which are used. These known as secondary data. So some properties with respect to primary and secondary data. From the primary data, we can get all the necessary information, but in secondary, we may not. Collection of primary data involves more time, money, and energy, but second data relatively less, obviously. These data can have another type of data. Yield of a crop, available nitrogen, number of leaves per plant. This is one type of data. We can have another type of data also. Shape of seeds, types of soil, varieties of a crop. Here we can observe yield, we can quantify. Available nitrogen, we can quantify. Number of leaves, these are numbers we can give. But shape of seeds, we do not have numbers. Types of soils, these all do not have numbers. So these data can be expressed numerically, but these data we cannot express numerically. Hence, this yield available into the number of leaves called as quantitative data, and this is qualitative data. Now coming to statistics, it is a branch of applied mathematics. It is defined as science of collection, classification, analysis, and interpretation of numerical data. So here, first what we will do, we will collect the data through primary or secondary. We will collect the data. Huge data will be there, obviously. After collection of data, we have to classify. That is classification. So in order, we have to classify. Then after classification, the analysis. Using different methods, we can analyze the data. And also with last, after analysis, we will draw conclusion, that is interpretation about the numerical data. Statistics means facts obtaining from the numerical data. So these are facts. The person height is 150 centimeter. So you will have one idea about the individual. That is the facts obtaining from the numerical data. So weight of a fruit is 1 kg. So if we know 1 kg, that weight, we can have an idea about the item. He is the father of statistics, R.A. Fisher. Let's consider one population, anything, one population, like number of plants in a field, or number of students in a classroom or in a college. If we collect few units from this population, let this become sample. Let this is a population, this is number of students in a classroom. So if we select randomly 4 observations, that becomes the sample. This sample, this represents the population. Here in statistics, so population here we should consider in a statistical sense. So here size of the population is capital N, size of the sample N is sample is small n. So this population is the aggregate or totality of all possible units possessing the specified characteristic. This is known as population. Sample means small portion selected from a population, or it is a subset of population. It is a part of the population. From this population or anything, anyone, some set of from the uh, observation, set of observation, if we collect the information, this is nothing but census survey or complete enumeration. So here we will study all the observations from the population or whole thing. But from the sample, if we collect the data, that becomes sample survey. So this is census survey. It is used when the population is very small. It is suitable when population is very small, and the obtained results are likely to be more representative, accurate, and reliable through this census survey. And also, this requires collection of data, requires more time, money, and energy. With respect to sample survey, it is appropriate when population is very large. Within a short time, we can get the information from this sample survey. These results obtained from the sample survey are likely to be less representative, accurate level, obviously. Requires less time, money, and energy. Let's consider there are two variety A and variety B. We'll collect one sample from variety A and also another sample from variety B. Let's consider another example, marks in statistics, marks in mathematics. So here we will collect one sample from the statistics group, one will collect sample from the mathematics group. Here these cases are independent samples. These two samples are independent. Here these two samples are independent. Take another example. Let's consider variety A only. I will collect information before application of fertilizer. Observations before application of fertilizer. I will collect one sample. After application of fertilizer also, I will collect another sample. This is one type of samples. I will take another example, marks in statistics only. Before giving coaching for the students, I will collect one sample data, and after giving coaching, I will collect sample. So here, these two samples are independent, and these two samples are independent. Generally, here, independent sample, the observation in two samples are independent. But in dependent samples, the observations in two samples are related. That is important. Here, observations are independent samples, observations are independent, dependent samples, observations are related. Let's consider examples. Height of a plant 10 centimeter, 50 centimeter, 25.5 centimeter. Yield 15.2 quintal, 20 quintal, 30 quintal. Number of leaves 2, 6, 8, 14. So this is all one type of things. Quantitative characteristics. These can present more than one numerical value. So these are height, yield, and leaves. We can present in one more than one numerical value. These called variables. Let's consider another example, crop variety, soil type, shape of seed. So here, these are the qualitative characteristics. We cannot present more than one numerical value. So these known as attributes. So let in these variables, height and yield, these two variables which consider integers and decimals. We can observe integer 10, 50 and decimal 25.5. Here decimal is 15.2. So these two are known as continuous variables. So we can observe the third variable here, which consider only integers 2, 6, 8, 14. So there is no decimals here. So these known as discontinuous or discrete variables. Continuous means both integer and decimal. Discontinuous or discrete means only integers values. Consider one example, yield of a crop. This yield of a crop depends on height, of a plant, fertilizer, application fertilizer, irrigation, temperature. So this yield of a crop is a variable is known as a dependent variable. These are other things called as independent variables. This dependent variables depends on these variables. These independent variables influence the dependent variable. Dependent variable, these are variables we are trying to predict, or variables depending on other variables. But independent variables means variables are used to predict the variable of interest. In this statistics, some notations we are going to use, that this is rupees, percentage, plus or minus, less than, more than, equal to, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, not equal to, square root. This is square of some value, degrees of some value. This is alpha, beta, gamma, lambda, chi, pi, mu, sigma. This is small sigma. And this is capital sigma summation, infinite, power symbol. This is 2 to the power of 4. We can use this power symbol. X bar, x factorial and x bar. Let's consider x and y variable are the variables. X1, X2, X3, Xn are the observations or values of variable of x. X is general, one variable. So X1, X2, X3, Xn are the observations. Y1, Y2, Y3, Yn are the observations or values of variable y. So if we write x1 plus x2 up to xn, this is known as in verbally sum of all the observations. Sum of all the observations. This is by notation, in a short form, we can write like this, summation of x. If I write x1 square plus x2 square up to xn square, this verbally we can word in words, sum of square of all the observations, sum of square of all the observations. So in short form, summation of x square. Here x is variable. Consider another example, x1 minus x bar plus x2 minus x bar plus. So all the set of observations, we have taken deviation from their mean, deviation minus we have taken. So you, in words, sum of the deviations of a set of observation from their mean. So sum of the deviations of the set of observation, x variable set of observations from their mean, summation of x minus x bar. So this is same thing, squared values, sum of the square of the deviations of a set of observations from their mean. Just extra is square. In short form, summation of x minus x bar square, sum of the square of the deviations of the set of observations from their mean. X1 y1 plus x2 y2 plus up to xn yn. In words, sum of the product of all the observations of x and y variables, sum of the product of the all the observations of x and y. In short, summation of xy. So this is nth root of x1 into x2 up to xn. In words, nth root of product of the n observations. If I take inside only 10 observations, we can mention 10th root like that. So of course, for the 10 observations also, we can take square root also, cube root also, fourth root also, like that. So this is another one, 1 by x1. So reciprocal of each observation, 1 by x1 plus x2 plus up to 1 by xn. So this is sum of the reciprocal of the individual observation. So here sum of all the observation, this one, first one. Last one is it's individual reciprocal, sum of the reciprocal of the individual observation. In short form, we can write like summation of 1 by x. If any doubts, feel free to contact. Thank you.